Types of herpes. 8 types of the herpes virus that can infect humans, along with a short description of how each type affects the body, infection statistics, and the treatment options that are currently available. HSV-1. Herpes simplex virus 1, or HSV-1, is the most common type of herpes virus. Around 65% of all people aged 14 to 49 are infected with HSV-1, making it one of the most common viral infections in the world. HSV-1 can affect the mouth and lips, oral herpes, or genitals, genital herpes. The virus causes outbreaks of herpes sores on the mouth or genitals. Many people with HSV-1 are asymptomatic, meaning they never experience any symptoms even after they're infected with the virus. It also means that HSV-1 transmission is very common, if you're not careful, and even if you are. Like other forms of herpes virus, HSV-1 spreads through direct contact. The most common methods of spreading the virus are kissing and oral sex. HSV-1 is treatable using antiviral medications such as valacyclovir. HSV-2. Herpes simplex virus, of HSV-2, is the second most common type of herpes virus. Like HSV-1, it is highly contagious and spreads through direct contact. About 11% of people aged 14 to 49 are infected with HSV-2, although many never experience any symptoms. HSV-2 usually causes genital herpes. It's typically spread through sexual intercourse and tends to affect women more than men. In rare cases, HSV-2 can spread from the genitals to the mouth to cause oral herpes. Like HSV-1, HSV-2 has no known cure but can be treated using antiviral medications such as valacyclovir. HHV-3. Human herpes virus 3, or HHV-3, is a type of herpes virus that causes chickenpox and shingles. HHV-3 is also known as the varicella-zoster virus. It's an extremely common virus that typically occurs during childhood as chickenpox. The virus typically causes painful, unpleasant lesions that can affect the entire body. When HHV-3 reoccurs as shingles, it can cause painful, itchy lesions to develop in a band-like pattern across the body. Shingles is an extremely unpleasant infection that can result in lasting, long-term pain that persists over several months. Vaccines for HHV-3 have been available since the 1970s, with the first approved vaccines in the United States available from 1995 to the public. They go by various names including Vayavax registered and ProQuad registered, which is a combination vaccine for measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox, for children, and Shingrix registered and Zostavax registered for adults 50 years of age and older. HHV-4. Human herpes virus 4, or HHV-4, is an infectious virus that's often called the Epstein-Barr virus. HHV-4 is most commonly associated with infectious mononucleosis, or mono, a common virus that most people get infected with at childhood, but whose symptoms mostly affect young people and adults. Mono spreads through saliva and is known by many people as the kissing virus. The symptoms of HHV-4 typically pass on their own over the course of 2 to 4 weeks, with antiviral medications such as valacyclovir rarely necessary. However, in some cases, a healthcare professional may recommend medication to treat mono if initial healing is slow or symptoms are severe. HHV-5. Human herpes virus 5, or HHV-5, is widely known as the cytomegalovirus, CMV. Like the other forms of herpes virus, CMV is a common virus that can affect people of all sexes and ages. As with other viruses of this type, CMV is a lifelong infection without a known cure. CMV is extremely common worldwide, affecting an estimated 50% of all adults by age 40. In infants, CMV typically spreads during birth. The virus can also spread to infants via breast milk. Other common transmission methods include sharing toys and/or items that come into contact with the mouth, such as dining utensils. After catching CMV, some people experience flu-like symptoms, although many people with the virus are asymptomatic. The virus is typically asymptomatic, but can cause significant problems for people with compromised immune systems. HHV6, Human herpes virus 6, or HHV6, is a form of the herpes virus that, according to the CDC, causes Roseola infantum or exanthem subitum, a common childhood disease that resolves spontaneously. While some cases of HHV6 are asymptomatic, symptoms of the virus include fever, rash, ear infections, respiratory and gastrointestinal issues, and even seizures during a primary outbreak. HHV6 most commonly affects people during childhood as HHV6B. HHV6 is very common in young children, accounting for approximately 20% of all fever emergency room visits by young children. The virus is also common in people that receive organ transplants. Like other forms of herpes virus, HHV6 is very common. Although the virus was only discovered in the 1980s, a reported 64% to 83% of children in the United States catch the virus at some point in early childhood. HHV6 infects the salivary glands, meaning that both the HHV6A and HHV6B forms of HHV6 spread through saliva. As of 2018, there are no medications that treat HHV6, although antiviral medications used to treat CMV are currently being studied as potential treatments. HHV7, Human herpes virus 7, or HHV7, is another common form of herpes virus that's estimated to be found in the majority of humans. The virus was first identified in 1990 and is believed to be closely related to HHV6 in humans. Symptoms of HHV7 include roseola, fever, diarrhea, vomiting and seizures, as well as flu-like symptoms. Many people infected with the virus experience no symptoms. Like HHV6, HHV7 is extremely common. More than 95% of U.S. adults are believed to have the virus, with the majority of people becoming infected before 6 years of age. Like HHV6, there is currently no known treatment for HHV7. HHV8, Human herpes virus 8, or HHV8, is the most recently discovered form of the human herpes viruses. The virus was recently identified in tumors of Kaposi sarcoma, a cancer that can cause lesions to develop on the skin, lymph nodes, and internal organs of people with AIDS. HHV8 is also known as Kaposi sarcoma-associated herpes virus. The virus is fairly common in people with HIV/AIDS, with as many as 35% of AIDS patients believed to be infected. HHV8 is also found in patients that have received organ transplants. Types of herpes. Types of herpes virus in humans. Types of herpes virus. Types of genital herpes. How many types of herpes? Types of herpes viruses. Types of herpes oral. Types of herpes rash. Types of herpes sores. Types of herpes test. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel for my upcoming herpes treatment videos.